So
Sure.
what I like to do is have everybody, so introduce yourself, say your name, where you live, what you do for a living.
All right. My name is Andy, and I live in right outside Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I'm a manufacturing engineer as my actual job. And then on the side, I like to build cars.
Kelly, Rosemont, Minnesota. I work with Red Bull, sales and distribution of their product.
Nice. So what got you guys into cars? Like, what was the initial thing? Like, some people just grew up with them, their dads had them, or, you know, like other people whose parents had crappy cars, like just saw cool movies and stuff.
Yeah, my dad worked for Michigan International Speedway, and he still does actually. So as a kid, it was like NASCAR every weekend, going to the track with them, you know, and being right on pit road the whole time. And so you're at every race, and so that's kind of how it started. And then college, it got out of control. You know, I started buying ship boxes to modify, and then I had a pickup truck that I started messing around with because it had an LS, so cam headers used to piss everybody off because it was so loud, and then it just got worse from there.
I'll probably be closer to Craig. I grew up watching NASCAR, and it's kind of just grown from the racing side. My VW was the first car I bought, and it was already built, lucky me. And that was a Stage 2 Plus Volkswagen, and it was pretty quick for what it is, but just going around that, joining car clubs, and found my first rally in like 2017 and been on rallies ever since.
Right on. Well, you just answered the next question, which is what was your first car? So
That's not my first car. My first car was a 2001 S10 ZR2. It had the lift kit from the factory, and then 31, and I had big ass, just ridiculous mud tires on it, and it would cause trouble with that. I live out in the farm, so farm country out here in Rosemount, so it was pretty easy to get in some trouble with it.
We literally had the same truck, you goof.
What color?
I had a black one.
Mine was the metallic blue.
Mm-hmm.
I
had a black one.
So same first car?
Say that again?
So that was your first vehicle too?
Yeah, I had a S10 ZR2 as well. Oh, that's weird.
That's funny. That's really funny.
So what's the worst car you've ever owned?
That.
Ooh, I don't know. That's a good question. I had a shitty Subaru for a year, so that's probably the worst one.
Yeah, it's a Subaru. So
Yep.
I've only had 3 cars. I've had the S10, the Mark V GTI, and then the Camaro. That's all I've had.
But you have other stuff that wasn't like, haven't you had other stuff you've owned that's daily or no?
No, that's all I've had.
Oh, okay. Dude, I thought Minnesota and Wisconsin people just went through winter cars like it was like trading cars or something.
Some of us, I've had a lot of trucks. I've had, you know, pickup truck after pickup truck for daily. So, and then I usually just build a car for beating the shit out of.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had a truck yet. I mean, the VW is fine. Throw some snow tires on it, it gets through just fine. But I bought that with 75,000 miles on it, and I'm pushing 170 on it now, and I bought that in 2015. So that just shows you how much I drive it for work.
I know, trust me, I know, because I had a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee when I started working in with the beer distributor, and I was only there for 10 months. And when I left, I had 27,000 miles on it. So it was a lot, like quick. And then I traded it in because I was like, well, I mean, this is the best it's going to get because it's only going to get worse. So I bought my Yukon, and I've had that since. But what is the dream car? Any budget, any time period?
Oh, I'm going GT2 RS for sure.
Yeah, I mean, GT2 RS would be sweet. But if I'm going to go practical, it's an RS7. An RS7, hands down.
Yeah.
So doing on that, you'll be set. Or an RS6 Avant. Now that you can get them here.
Now that you can get them, the wagon.
I looked at the Avant when I bought the CTSV, and I saw this. I did not realize the sticker price, so I went to the Audi dealership. I was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about buying this," and the guy's like, "Okay, let's sit down and let's work this out." So he's telling me colors and options and everything, and then he gets to the price, and I was like, "Oh, we're about 80 over what I was really thinking about spending. So
What was sticker?
it was like 146 or like 150 or something. But I spec'd it out like to the max. I mean, I had like everything put in it. And I was just like, I was like, dude, I'm not, I go, if I'm going to spend that much money, I'm going to buy like a used McLaren.
Are they getting like an extra fee over sticker for those still?
I mean, it depends on where you are, I think, really. Yeah. Like, there's some companies that refuse to go over MSRP, but there's still the dealerships that are like, obviously, if there's a want, we're going to
drop. Yeah, I would assume so. I wonder what the Carter in Iowa got his for, because he had the RS7, then he got the R8, and then he ended up with an RX6. I was like, he's just buying everything.
Well, I'm kind of wondering, like, because unless you're a true car person, I don't think you understand what that car is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's maybe a mass amount of people going in there, but at the same point, I don't think production numbers yet are that high that they can really go, you know, oh yeah, just MSRP because we can get 20 of them in a week or whatever.
Well, it's got to be like the Polestar and the CTSV wagons. You just got to think people just don't know what it is. Like, no one cares about what Brad has.
Brad cares. He loves his blue Volvo.
I had a Volvo station wagon, so.
I mean, I had a rental F60 R design for about 2 months when my VW was in the shop, and I put like 2,000 miles on that thing in 2 months, and it was really comfortable, to be honest. So
that's all he does in it.
Yeah,
he just puts along
and gets speeding tickets.
Well, he tries to take Bellis out.
Tries to impress him.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about that. Okay, so you Kelly, still you have the VW and the Camaro, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Andy, what are the current cars? Because it sounds like there is.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. So the current cars are, I got a Duramax for daily, and I'm building the twin turbo LS swap 911 into something ridiculous. But as far as like cars I've had on the rallies, the first rally I went on 2015, so pretty much like the OG rally. I had a LS swap 944 race car with no interior, no heat, no AC, nothing. Pretty much straight exhaust. And then I had a turbo Silverado for 2 years. And then I bought a Camaro too, and I just sold that so I could finish building this car. But right now it's just a LS swap 996.
Right on. Okay. So daily driver's Duramax, daily driver, depending on the season for you, is one of those two.
Yeah, I mean, like I said about the VW, I bought the Camaro in the spring of 18, the 2017, with about 14,000 miles on it. And just before I put it away, I crossed 60. So, but that's been on every rally since I bought it. It's been on 3 Souths, been on every North. The only rally it hasn't been on is when I took the rental Mustang on West last year.
That's a good idea.
And beat the crap out of it.
That's what it sounds like. And that's what I was having that conversation with Ross and Blair, because nobody's begging me to go on West, but everybody's begging them to go on West. And we were talking about that because I was like, it's hard because if you don't have disposable income like some of these big boys do, I mean, shipping's not atrocious. It's not like it's, $5,000, but it's still enough money. It's still enough money that it's like, do I really want to do that? And then the other thing is, if you're just driving your car, 2 days to get to Denver, depending on where you live, right? And then 2 to 3 days back from Vegas.
Yeah. 3 days. Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm having Andy bring my car up for me.
Yeah. I'm taking the truck with the trailer, and we're like convoying out there, and then we're going a scenic route on the way home. So, but yeah, it used to be, in my opinion, more affordable. Obviously, with the caliber of cars that are coming now and stuff, it has to increase a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like South. It's like, okay, I just drive to Chicago, and then I like, it's perfect. Because I drive back from Charlotte, but Charlotte's, well, depending on, you know what I mean, wherever we were.
Not horrible.
It was like 8 hours.
I mean, that's the problem with not doing North for me, you can only do Minneapolis to Chicago so many ways for us up here. So it's like the same route every year. So them doing Cedar Rapids to Road America this year should be pretty sweet. So
yeah, that'll be awesome. Plus, it's nice that you can do Road America on a Monday. So
yeah, well, that's the time you can really do a track event, because I think there's a series there that weekend. So
yeah.
Yeah, I tried to get my buddy. We were gonna do North. He has a Porsche. He daily drives it, so he bought a 718 GTS Cayman.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a track animal. Like, this guy does every track event he can possibly do. And so we were going to do North, because then he could do Road America, which he's done so many times. And then I don't know what Hawkeye Downs is like. I mean, that's more of a NASCAR track, it sounds like.
More oval. Yeah.
It's a half-mile oval.
But then he could get to do that at least. So I was like, it would be great, because that way he's getting to actually experience Crown and do the track stuff, because he didn't want to do South, since it's kind of a little bit more money and
They went up. They all went up.
I got a buddy who's doing North this year for the first time, and he had a Grand Sport with a 427 in it and tracked the heck out of it. And then his dad had a ZR1, but they both sold their cars this winter, so they're both trying to find something for North this year. And I'm trying to get him to go have him team up with me, and then we can take the Camaro and he can rip on the Camaro on Road America, because he's ran Road America a bunch of times, so he knows the track really well.
That's cool. I mean, that's the thing that's when we got to Autobahn, it made me nervous, because I only had 5 hours behind the wheel of the CTSV when we got there.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and Autobahn. Yeah, good thing we were on the small course too, because the big course can, if they had that thing opened up, you could really get in trouble.
I didn't even track it. I didn't even take it on the track. Like, we got there so late, because I had to go pick up my co-pilot in freaking Elgin, which is like way far above Chicago. So I had to drive from Indianapolis all the way up to Elgin, turn around, come all the way back to Joliet, turn around, go all the way back to Chicago. So I didn't even get on the track. I was just like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm hungry. And
the construction by the track was really bad.
Well, then I'm seeing all these dudes completely ripping, and I'm like, yeah, first time out. I don't think I want to be that dude. So
yeah. I mean, Road America is a bucket list for me, so I'm pretty excited about that. But I'm a little worried about Road America. It can get nasty pretty quick. It's a badass track, so
I'm not gonna.
People are gonna have to be on their toes.
I'm not going to tell you what happened, but I will just say this. The reason my buddy did not sign up for North is something happened at Road America.
Oh, yeah. It's fast, and the corners are crazy.
It wasn't the course's fault. It was just a fluke thing that happened, and he wasn't sure he was going to have the car. We'll put it that way. So
yeah, that happens. A lot of guys, a lot of wrecked Camaros and a lot of wrecked stuff on the kink, and it just, you spin the car right around and right into the wall.
Yeah, definitely want track insurance.
Yes.
Yeah, he had track insurance, so he lucked out, but it was a long process of.
Yeah, it's not as easy as everybody thinks.
No. And his deductible, even with track insurance, is insane.
Yeah.
So, well, this is perfect, because we're talking about the rally. So it leads into the next session. How did you guys originally hear about Crown?
So I actually I went to school with Adam. And so when this all started, I actually went to college with Adam in Mankato. And so I knew him, and he's like, hey, you should bring your car, because he's friends on Facebook. And I brought my car, and after that, it's like, well, I got to do this all the time.
Yeah. My first thing of Crown was just a 3-minute video back when the videos were 3 minutes long. Now they're 20, 25 minutes features. Yeah. And I think that would have been the 2016 one when they left for MAP.
Oh, yeah. 2015, we left from MAP. I think we left from MAP both years.
Yeah, because I remember Morgan had the McLaren that year. Labakan had the security vet on his ZR1. Oh, yeah.
That was 2016, yeah.
So that's the first experience I got. And that year, I did the Cannonball Fun Rally up here, which is another one up here that I've done a couple times in the GTI, and then did once in the Camaro with the legendary Nick Nelson.
The one that got you in trouble on the way to.
Wow, that was Kelly's first speeding ticket. Come on now. I've been popped on the rally a couple times.
Yeah, but they weren't even on the rally yet. That's what I mean. It's they were all.
I got popped by that airplane. I wasn't on the rally either.
Yeah, that you did.
Mm-hmm.
That big ass number on the roof.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I ain't doing a roof number this year.
Yep.
That's not fun. Well, it's hard to blend in, I guess, when you've got NASCAR.
I mean, and his car was bright red.
Yeah, that's what I tried to tell the district attorney. He didn't want anything to do with it. I'm like, how can you say that my bright red Camaro with all these crown stickers and then huge 88s on it, like on the roof? I said, how does this guy in the airplane not pick me out and single me out for a ticket?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, if you're just one of 20 black Porsches rolling through, it's like, who knows which one you are? But when it's, hey, yeah, there's literally call numbers on.
Oh yeah, he picked me out real easy too.
Well, that's going to be Tony's problem this year with the RCF. This thing's bright neon green with black accents. That thing's going to stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, it turned out good though.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Nice. Oh yeah. I did see that. It looks dope.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was crazy because I turned on the race and I finally was like, oh, that's what the idea came from.
Yeah,
GTD Lexus.
Well, I was watching them, like I saw the preview that they put on the Instagram of it, and I was like, how did he come up with that? That's like and then I finally realized, like, you idiot. So what was initially the thing that really made you guys decide to do Crown, though? Just look fun, or
it just looked fun. My first Crown, I rode passenger seat with Mark Rube in his Golf R.
Ooh.
Which would have been the first year they did South, which was 17. Yeah, so I rode passenger with Mark on 17 and 18, and for North, there was 3 of us in his car in North, and I jumped in with Tony Ascuyu, had a full bolt-on GTR, and I rode with him for most of the weekend, so I didn't have to sit in the back seat.
Good idea.
So for you, Andy, was it just?
Well, so what happened was in 2014, Adam and those guys, like the first 10 people that started it, that went on it, they just did a day trip to Chicago, and they were like, oh, we should really, haul ass down to Chicago and back. And then after seeing, how much fun they had in 2015, Adam's like, hey, you should come up here and come do this. And, and then you meet Justin. And at that time, it was like, okay, we're going to let these 100 cars go at this thing. And you guys are just like free for all to get down to Chicago. I was like, oh, I'm in. Because, you watch Smokey and the Bandit all the time or something. We were southbound and bound, not eastbound and down. But, and after that, it's just a blast. You're with all these other cars and it's everybody's driving and having a good time. And it's just something totally different than, track day or something.
Well, then you meet guys like John Wolf as well, who just makes it even 10 times more fun.
Yeah.
And he's been on every single one, I think, right?
Pretty close, yeah. Or JTT or, Brad. The rally wouldn't be the rally without Brad, but
yeah.
Lots of awesome people, Nick Nelson and all those people that, help out every year. And now you got Tom and those guys.
So how did the infamous Magic Man
well, we're always watching Talladega Nights, and Kelly's like, hey, you idiot, we should do a set of wrapped cars. I'm like, well, my car's already red, so I could easily do it, because he was wrapping his car for Ricky Bobby. So I'm like, sold. So then I got custom plates. I had Magic Man plates. Then we got the suit, and I think we got our cars wrapped. I don't remember. It was like March, maybe the end of March, and it snowed like.
Yeah, it snowed the day before we went to pick it up, so we were both sketched.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, from my first rally, my team name's always been Shake and Bake. So throughout the Cannonball days, and then whenever me and Andy started talking, like he said, his car was red, so it was an easy play. And I know a couple guys who run a detail shop out here, and we did the work in my grandpa's garage all winter and just kind of did a panel by panel, week by week, and
base wrap,
and did the wrap ourselves, and it was super fun. It was a really cool skill to learn. Pretty much what we're gonna do again here in the next month or two with the new wrap.
Yeah, one of the 9,000 different options.
Hey, I got it down to like 2 or 3. Andy was the perfect co-pilot for that, or perfect other car to do it with. So
plus we had matching cars, so it was like matching Camaros. The livery looked awesome. Plus we had the suits. Plus we whooped Brad, so it was perfect.
Yeah, exactly. What Brad would for this?
Oh, you got it there. Mm-hmm.
It's about as heavy as it looks, so it probably weighs 10-15 pounds.
Nice. I mean, that was you guys came to Indy that year.
Yeah.
So I was actually on the circle, like me and a bunch of buddies went down there just to see the cars. And so it's hilarious because we saw you guys, and I was like, that's hilarious. Like I was dying laughing when I saw it. And then somebody had the mellow yellow car too.
Yeah, that was Paul.
Yeah, Paul's always doing the NASCAR theme. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just dying. But of course we were like laughing so hard at Shake and Bake.
Well, or the fact that I drove the whole rally with the Big Noon sticker on the windshield.
Yeah, and the cop was sitting in your car at the airstrip. He's like, "Man, it looks good. I don't know, not a problem. Keep it on."
And I drove it. I drove exactly 1,000 miles with it on before I took it off, which extended into the after trip. And we took it off at the Waffle House. We started the day off because the day before with Tail the Dragon, it was pretty dangerous on tail, I'll admit, but I made it through. It turned out for some awesome photos that I got blown up now. So
yeah, I mean, it was hilarious, and that was the intro for me for Crown. Like the first time I saw, pretty much, because my buddies were like, "Hey." Well, the main reason we went was one of the dudes, like a huge savage garage nerd.
Oh yeah,
and they were really new at that point too.
Yeah,
super new.
Like we kind of set their channel off. Their first like vlogs of the rally kind of set them to where they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was just funny though, because he's like, "We gotta go down there and see their 2 Lambos." And so we go down, and he's over there like trying to find them, talk to them, and I'm walking around and I see Shake and Bake, and I'm like,
"That's 2 idiots."
That's what works for me. The only other car I saw that I was like, it was a complete different thing was whoever had the Resto Mod like 68 Camaro or 69.
Oh yeah, the gray one.
That's Grady's brother, so the all carbon fiber GTR. So it's one of Paul's buddies. So
yeah, Hudson guy, I think.
Yeah, it's pro touring. It's an incredible build.
Yeah, Schwartz chassis. He's got it. It's all tricked out.
Yeah, I saw that thing and I was like, "This is dope!" Like,
and it's loud.
He came up north once, and we stopped by the river, and it was like super hot and humid. I don't think he had AC yet at that point in time, and they were dying in there.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised those guys do it. I couldn't do it without AC.
No, that's the conversation that I had with Frank, because they always have to wear the headsets, and then they have the windows down, and I was like, "Dude, I couldn't do it."
Right. Well, Paul runs the headsets too.
Yeah.
My car's gotten loud enough where I've thought about doing it, but I just let Brett deal with the radio. So
I'm windows down the whole time, no matter what, unless it's raining out.
Yeah, I got the luxury of the sunroof, so I can pop that open.
That's true.
We were windows up, and Elia, I wanted to kill him. I already gave him crap over it, but he had the AC on his side turned down as low as it could possibly go.
Freezing his side of the car.
Yeah, so I'm like shivering driving. I'm like, "Can we just put a hoodie on or something, dude?" Like,
yeah, you got to turn on your heated seat.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
the cool seat.
Well, I wanted to get plexiglass and build like a partition the entire.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, his own little cube. Yeah, I've done the rally. Let's see. Well, a couple of years there with no AC. The 944 didn't have it. The turbo truck, I never got the AC charge before we went, and that was on north, and it was super hot then. We windows down, sweating it out.
And was that before they made the rally 2 days, and when it was just Minneapolis, Chicago, and then Chicago back.
That was the 944. Yeah. So it rained. So on the way to Chicago, we like went through Beloit, and then it started raining, and I had windshield wipers hooked up to a button. So my co-driver, Paul, had to hold that button the whole time went from Beloit to Chicago, because otherwise you had no wipers. We didn't have the sunroof on, so we were both getting wet, and there's no HVAC. So the windows had to be down or it's fogging up. So we got soaked by the time we got there.
That's awesome.
Nothing you do. It's the first year. And then on the way back, it was like 95 and humid the whole way back on the second day. It was rough.
That's kind of one of the reasons that I'm happy I did South this year, and then they agreed to put it in October again next year. It's like,
wow. It's the perfect time for South. Like by far the best time. Like you can't West. I think you really can't do. And there's no good time to do West, I don't think, because it's going to be hot. Like last year, we got to Vegas and it was 116, and it was like 7 p.m. when we got in. And it just felt like you were in a freaking air fryer when you walked outside.
Yeah, and in the same time frame, Denver could have snow. So it's like you could have snow and then get to Vegas and it'll be 100 something.
Right.
And how? So I know that Ellie, my co-pilot, the Extalgic dude, and he did it with a guy named Tim, and they had trouble with overheating, like on Pikes Peak, and it's kind of too far more than anything else, but I would imagine on West, like there's got to be some issues with a couple of people, maybe.
Oh yeah, sure. If you have a heavily modified car and you can't get enough, airflow through your radiators, that's why the Pikes Peak cars always have giant scoops and all that stuff, because the air's so thin, you got to jam more in there. But I know Adam ran out of fuel at the top, and a couple of people, some people didn't even go up there, I don't think. But yeah, you can get in trouble if you're trying to go up there. But when it's busy, I don't think you can go more than 30, 35 miles an hour.
No, I was talking to a couple of people yesterday when we were at Agave, and they were like, yeah, if you, with regular traffic, it's 20, 30 miles an hour up the whole way. So
I got sketched out about tail this year because it was me.
Yep.
And so I was like, dude, I'm brand new to the car. These people are going to want to rip. Like everybody's going to want to rip. And I don't, like, it's wet. I don't know the car that well. So my whole goal was just to go last, be the very last car out and just kind of take my time and enjoy it. And then I started talking to like a couple people, and they're like, you hit other traffic, man.
Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. The biggest thing with tail is the bikes.
Yeah.
Because
they're going to lean over the center.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've had some close calls in the couple of years I've been there, but I haven't ever seen anyone in the other lane yet, thankfully. So, and like last year with Andy, we putzed around that whole day because it was raining so hard. We stopped at Waffle House with a bunch of people, and we got word that the road was closed. So we just kind of took our time, then ended up finding Brad, and then he took us through the Skyway, which was really fun. And at the same point, couldn't see more than 2 feet in front of you because it was so foggy.
Yeah. Did you get 2018? I got stuck with that pack of CTSVs with Clyde, and he was in front of me, and him and Joe, and I can't think of maybe it's Joe and Joe, I don't know, but we were moving, and you'd be going up the tail, and it's like dry, and all of a sudden you hit a wet spot, and everybody'd slow down, and you'd go right back. But it was probably 75 that year, so we were moving pretty good, and Clyde ended up almost running out of gas.
Did you guys do Blue Ridge Parkway?
This year, no.
Okay. No. Yeah, it was bad. It was so foggy, and then also because it was fall and it was raining, like the road was just covered with slick leaves.
Yeah.
And so it was super sketchy because you don't know, like, if you can't see, and then you don't have traction, and you have no clue where the next turn is unless you're right there. So what I heard later from Jonah was like they didn't even know they were in tunnels until they saw the reflectors because of how dark they was at night, and it was foggy, and they're like, yeah, we didn't even know we were in a tunnel until we saw the reflector bounce back.
But like I said, we got stuck with Brad, and he was with the Chicago group, so like Jim, Colkey, Larry, and all them. And when we got out of the mountains, that group just took off and left us for the dust. And so we kind of just took our time getting to Charlotte. So
yeah, I mean the whole the whole road was covered in wet leaves. When I got back, actually, I had to take my whole front bumper off and clean out all my intercoolers and radiators.
I need to do that. I just went to the shop today because they're repairing my bumper, and so it's off. And I saw so much junk just sitting in there.
sure.
Yeah.
Piles up in there. Whoever had the ZR1, like the newer ZR1, when we got done at right after the drag strip, the final drag strip, the front of his car was just full of sand. And I mean, it had like 2 inches of sand down in the intercoolers and the radiators and stuff.
Get on a lift and clean it.
Who was that with like the dark gray ZR1?
That's Scott and Sue, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So,
Oh yeah. I couldn't distinguish who was in which ZR1 because we were talking to Quaddle Bomb one night.
yeah, he had the red one. No, was his red?
See, that's the whole thing.
Had the diffuser.
No, it didn't have the diffuser. That was the whole thing. And so that video, the end of a video that Elliot put out of what's a diffuser? What's a diffuser do? The whole reason that joke happened when they were all drunk is because they're like, oh, he's the one without the diffuser because they got so mixed up with how many cars.
Yeah, Scott and Sue had the diffuser.
Okay.
So yeah,
like 3 this year, I think.
Yeah, there was
white one.
Yeah, you had Scott, the guy who did Gumball and who's like the professional race car driver.
Quaddle Bomb, Michael.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He followed me for quite a bit on day one, and I got to follow him for a while, and that was really cool just watching him how he drove. And then you had Ron in the orange one, who was the full E85 Hennessy kit, which blew up after he got home, and is now at Hennessy getting fixed. But
that's when you smash him in the face with a confetti cannon.
That was Brett.
Same team.
So I should, before we go too far, I got to know this story related to Brad and a hotel room and.
So we left the drag strip at Rantal and started going and realized that we weren't gonna, if we did the whole rally route, we weren't gonna make our dinner reservation at St. Elmo's. And so he got a hold of us and we ended up just going straight to Indy from the drag strip, which, I mean, we've done the rally enough. It wasn't a huge deal. Right. And we pull into Indy. We're one of the first teams into Indy. And we could walk into the hotel fully in our suits and whatnot. And the guy checking us in was just laughing the whole time. He loved it and whatnot. Checked in, went up, showered, got ready, and came back down. And the guy wasn't doing anything. And I was like, hey, we got 2 other guys we're kind of in a battle for best theme with.
Yeah, because they were dressed up as Dr. Evil and Mini-Me.
But they got out of their costumes, though, like halfway through the day every day. And I came back down, talked to him a little bit, and I was like, hey, we're all going to dinner at St. Elmo's. Can you, I first asked him for, a romance package, like rose petals and all that. Yeah. Like, just go full romance on it, lube, whatever. And like, we can't get it that fast. I'm like, dang it. And then he had the idea of printing out little pictures from Talladega Nights off Google Images, nothing crazy. And he taped them all across their room when we were at dinner with them at St. Elmo's. And they were so tired from driving that day that they didn't even notice it until the next morning.
Yeah, it was cool. Brad was so mad. I have a picture of Brad putting you in headlock after you were riding the scooter around trying to hit him.
Oh, yeah, and then I rode around Monument Circle on a bird scooter all morning.
Wait, so you guys, was dinner through Crown at St. Elmo?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say, dude, if they balled out that hard, and I would be, cause that's one of my spots. Best steak I've had today, and I had a 45A dry aged ribeye, and just melted. It was so good. And the cocktail sauce will clear your sinuses right out. Yeah, that's too much for me. It's Crohn's. Yeah.
Ian thought it was like tomato juice.
He should know better.
Right.
So
I mean,
you
he's
feel like
mini-me.
a big, like something, and probably was sneezing and coughing right away.
No, when it showed up, he thought it was like tomato juice. So
Oh.
he didn't go that far, but he literally just thought it was like a tomato juice.
Dude, it's like you dip your shrimp in it, and then you shake your shrimp off, and you still get like, for me, it's hot enough, and I'm like, oh. So
So I could smell it just enough.
it's awesome. I love that place. That's our go-to when we're spending the money. At least we'll put it that way. So any other hilarious? You guys probably have tons of them, but
When we came back out from the after party at, I don't remember what the club was called there. We went back and kind of did a lap of the cars, and I came out and there was a loaf of Wonder Bread sitting on my car and had no idea who did it until the next morning. And saw it was John and his group who had the Focus RS with the Golf livery on it. They found it at a gas station just before they got into town and left it there for me. And came back the next morning and it was gone.
Yeah, somebody was hungry.
Yeah, someone was hungry.
that is there's some homeless that kind of wandered together.
Yeah,
So
definitely noticed, unfortunately.
yeah, it is like I think Indy gets a bad rap kind of, but
Yeah, we have it in every city. When 2016, when they came to Milwaukee, they had them like, begging for stuff, and it's pretty much everywhere.
Right. And I kind of think that's why they moved it to the art museum last time we were in Milwaukee. So
yeah, downtown. I mean, downtown Indy is just it's hit or miss, man. It's it is hit or miss. If you're in the right area, there's but so it stinks because, like, obviously, as you just said, like, yeah, I have one of the best steaks of my life there, and then you walk outside and there's a dude like shaking the cup, and
right.
you're like, dude, I just spent all my money. Like, did you not see where I just walked out of? That was not a cheap dinner.
Or your Mark and eat 2 steaks in one sitting.
Yeah, not taste them.
Yeah. He ate the tomahawk in like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
he just literally inhaled it. It's ridiculous.
They do a dinner on Sunday. It's like $40. You get a filet, you get a shrimp cocktail, and you get dessert for like $40.
That's not bad.
It's perfect because it's cheap. Because if you go any other time, that's like $120. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of Joey Nova's pizza right there.
I don't pay for Novas. You know that.
Yes, we know. Walk in and they're like, "Oh, Kelly, the usual."
Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get hooked up with that?
Honestly, I don't even really know, to be honest. It was one of those things. I don't know if you've seen anyone post about the Polar Run. There's a few of us that do Polar Run that's up here. That's all of Winter Base Rally. Andy knows what it is. Yep. But Nova's was a sponsor of that. I went on Polar Run one year and they were a sponsor. They had coupons in there. So I went, and it was really good. It's 40, 45 minutes from my house, depending on traffic. And started going, taking the family out there. And then when I was part of the VW club out here, we'd go like once a week and just became really close with the Gary who runs it and created a really good friendship. And he sponsored me in Cannonball and he sponsored me every year since for Crown. And as of last year, he started doing the breakfast at launch for North and going to do it again in 2021. And we're going to go big this year. So
yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's Justin's one of the busiest person I know. Paul's one of the busiest person I know, but Gary tops both of them. Like getting Gary and Justin in the same room to talk for an hour to get details for the rally set is nearly impossible.
How far is Agave?
40.
Okay,
so they're close.
It's not.
He lives like 40 minutes from everything. I don't know why he just doesn't move closer.
Well, and now the wrap shop's 5 minutes from my house, so makes up for it.
I was just curious because I see it all the freaking time. Everybody gets to meet up there. All you buddies just have your blast meals. And
I've driven 5 hours up there one Saturday afternoon to meet him and go eat and then just drive home 5.5 hours.
Oh yeah.
Quick run in the Camaro.
Well, and the crazy part, my friendship with Gary's gone so far. My sister's getting married in May that he's going to be the other usher with me at the wedding. That's where like how like he's gotten to our family.
Wow, that's awesome. Do you guys have any you have any, we can go to rapid fire. Do you have anything else you wanna?
No, not much. Just getting ready for 2021. So I'm volunteering the whole season this year. So I'll be on all 3 of the rallies just as a volunteer.
That is what I wanted to ask, because you guys have both, you both have volunteered before, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what is that like?
So
Like
it's
herding cats.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. It's just trying to herd, the important people to get going, but it's a little different because it's kind of like a job almost for part of it. And then instead of, not to lie, there is some stress like driving the actual rally when you're moving, trying to avoid cops, trying not to get in an accident, when people are doing some sketchy stuff. There's some stress involved, especially when you're looking at the GPS, like, oh man, we got 6 more hours to get to destination. And then when you're doing the volunteering, it's like set up, get the launch ready, launch all the cars, tear everything down, quick slam it in a trailer, and then drive to the destination, the final destination, and try to get set up again before the cars show up.
Yeah, like on North this year, I did launch on day 1, and then I did arrivals day 2 in Chicago. So literally so we got to the state capitol that Friday morning at 6 a.m. to set everything up, and sat there through launch and whatnot, and then right to Cedar Rapids we went. And then day 2, I didn't have to be to Chicago till 3 to the hotel in the parking lot. So I bummed around with the rally at Hawkeye Downs for a little bit, rode with the rally, and then once I hit my time that I had to get to Chicago to check in, that's when we left. And I sat in the parking lot with my other volunteer guy until almost 11 p.m. that night from 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Just parking cars because, and then it rained a little bit, so we got wet, of course. But then you had the stragglers who all waited or stayed way too long at Autobahn, and you're like, come on guys, it's 10 o'clock, I want to go to bed, because I got to be up the next morning to help with launch to the children's hospital, for the parade.
Yeah. Yeah, so it depends. Even when you're on the rally, you're worn out, and then when you're doing volunteering, you're also worn out.
I think I get more worn out, honestly, as a rallier, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I just was blown away because it was so, what I've said to everybody is it's so effortless because of how well organized it is and how well the volunteers do with getting everything set up and ready for you. And it's insane, man. There's no, to drive into the city and for 2-3 blocks, see a yellow shirt, pointing you which way to go is so amazing because there's not, what I said to everybody, I go, the only thing I had to worry about was driving.
Right.
They tell you where to go.
That's what we try to do.
They tell you where to go, GPS wise. They tell you where you're eating. The food's already taken care of. There is literally nothing but okay, you got to drive, and then you got to get some sleep. That's about it.
There's so much pre-planning that Tom and Justin and all those guys do that. Yeah, and especially last year with the the COVID stuff, they really made it happen for sure.
Yeah, on North, the hotel, they had to move the hotel literally Thursday night for Saturday.
Yeah.
Because of Chicago's restriction, because they had all the riots in downtown Chicago and enlisted a curfew, so they had to move it outside of Chicago limits, and that's why we ended up out by the outlet mall.
Yeah. Well, it was crazy because I watched South go from Louisville and Asheville to Cincy and
Nashville.
Yeah. So it was just wild because I was 4 days out, and they're like, all right, we're switching 2 cities, and I'm like, I can't fathom having to do that, having to make. But
a lot of those changes are done weeks in advance, and they want everything set in stone before they release it all. And that's the one thing, the itinerary seems like it comes out super late every year because it does, because they're still trying to lock those last minute things in just in case there is a last minute change.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not like, it's amazing. I mean, I will admit, and I'm not mad about it at all. Like, I still had fun no matter what. I did kind of want to go to Asheville because I love Asheville. It's such a dope city, but I had fun in Cincy. I had fun in Nashville no matter what. So I'm not like
Nashville's one of my favorite cities, so I was super stoked to see it back on the list.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, Elliot, my co-pilot, calls it Trashville.
When the weather's nice and the people are out, it's a blast. It was a blast this time.
So much fun.
Dude, I mean, the best part of that whole thing was just they rented out those 2 floors and you can just go in and out. Yep. So all those people waiting in line, and it's like you're just walking in and out.
We got a badge, we can go right in.
Yeah, you just walk right past. Yeah, it's awesome.
So because, dude, I can't fathom if they didn't have that set up the way they did, what that would have been like, because people that I talked to who went to Nashville, not that weekend, but other weekends, like, yeah, we stood in line for like an hour and a half to get in the clubs.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's even how Chicago is when we actually go to downtown Chicago. Like the Clutch Bar last year, which they had 4 or 5 cars parked out front of the club, and they bring us in on a party bus and literally drop us at the front door and have a specific way we go in to the VIP lounge upstairs, and it was just ralliers. No one else could get up there.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. And then, I mean, it was also cool because there's actually live music. So
yeah,
and that chick was pretty good.
Yep.
Don't ask about my shuttle ride over though. Andy knows.
I got that on video. Oh yeah. That's gonna be on like the Crown video this year. It's gonna be great.
What did you do?
You got a lapper. You got a nice lapper.
No.
Yeah.
You actually got 2 lappers, not from a lady though, so that's the best part.
Yeah. Go to Larry, Black Star Larry. Somehow I ended up on my lap, and my phone was still in my pocket, and it vibrated when he was sitting on that leg.
Yeah, we were dying. Everybody was laughing.
Oh, in the van?
Yeah, in van.
I was in the van with you guys.
Oh, yeah, I got that all on video though, and then I have another one of Jim doing it later on when we were in that upstairs part of the hotel that they rented out.
You're talking about on the way there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all got in that van, and then Larry, Scott, and Jim are like, all right, we're just coming in. And I'm like, yeah, great. Somebody's going to be on my lap. And luckily nobody was.
No, it was my lap.
Yeah.
I had Erica on one, so Andy's co-driver on one leg, and I had freaking Larry on the other, just dying laughing the whole time.
I was a little bit like, I don't know what's happening right now.
I didn't even know what was happening.
It was hilarious. Yeah, I saved all those videos. They're backed up to the cloud, so we're good.
Of course they are.
Well, we will do rapid fire. So what is a go-to drink to have in the car on long drives?
Well, I know what Kelly's going to say.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, he's drinking Red Bull right now.
I get so much of this a month that it's not even funny.
So it has to be Red Bull, but what flavor?
Probably this one, watermelon. It was our new flavor last year, and it sold like crazy, and that's why they kept it around. So they got rid of the cranberry one, which Andy loved, to make watermelon permanent. So,
yep. Cranberry vodka Red Bulls is where it's at. That's my rally drink. Not
while driving.
No, after the car's parked, of course. Other than that, I usually drink Bang Energy.
Okay. So I don't feel bad now that he just said arrival, I don't have to feel horrible.
He gets enough crap for it every time he sends me a Snapchat of it. So
I'm not gonna lie. So this is funny that we're talking about this, because when we were at launch at the hotel in Chicago, I drink Monster Ultra. I drink the white ones.
Yep.
I walked all the way away to make sure nobody saw me drinking a Monster because it was sponsored by Red Bull. I was like, I don't want to be that guy. So I walked away and hid and slammed my Monster and then walked back.
Monster's the only one I'll give you crap on. Bang and Rain and all that, I really don't care because it's technically a different category than Red Bull is.
Yeah, so, Kelly can't handle them. Give them the shakes.
Yeah, so much damn caffeine in those Rains and Bangs. It's ridiculous.
Keeps you awake.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
I'm over here pounding 2 8-ounce that have just as much.
Well, that's why, like, I mean, I'm not putting Red Bull down. I drink it forever. I worked at the bars. I think that's part of the reason I can't drink it anymore was I drank it so much when I was working at the bars that
Yeah.
I can't
I
do
don't
it.
I don't like the original Red Bull at all. I don't like the taste of it. It's got to be one of the additions.
Yeah.
So
But I switched over to the zero cal because I'm like trying to watch my figure, just trying to.
Oh yeah. Yep. Same here. Yeah.
we lost a couple pounds just wearing those fire suits that weekend.
Yeah, we sweat our asses off, especially at the racetrack because they didn't have any freaking shade or anything.
Yeah, the airstrip was just no shade, nothing, and just dying. That's why he almost lost the drag race because his supercharger couldn't handle the heat.
Yeah, my car was heat soaked.
I gained weight on South, but I lost it in one day. I lost it in one day. I didn't.
Yeah, we freaking ate so much barbecue.
Well, yeah, but I didn't poop for 4 days.
Oh, that's a bad idea. You got to do that right when you get to the hotel.
The first 4 days, I'd sit down and like nothing would happen. And I'm like, this broke me. Something's wrong.
Yeah, right when you get to the hotel, you got to take care of that.
I have Crohn's disease too. So that's what made it even crazier. It's like Crohn's people can just go.
Oh yeah.
And there's nothing coming. And I'm like, I'm kind of nervous right now. Something's wrong.
Too much cheese.
Well, what it was funny because I was talking to, oh crap, what's his name? Chris Shiflett, co-pilot. The dude with Lotus.
Yeah. I don't know his name.
I think it's Turner. I think it's something Turner. But he goes, yeah, man, I haven't pooped for 4 days either. And I was like, all right, so it's not just me.
That's never good.
What it was I went from eating like such crappy food to eating good food that my body's like, we're just keeping it all because we know that.
Like, what is this?
Holding on to it, yeah.
Honestly, that's the only downside to South every year. It's all barbecue for 4 straight days.
And Waffle House.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with Waffle House. I eat that to get it out of my system.
Yeah.
Well, we should ask the Waffle House question if you guys are going to Waffle House.
Always.
What's the order? What is it? Smothered, covered? What's the order?
Oh, I'm usually getting biscuits and gravy, waffles, and bacon. And I know chocolate chip pancake boy over there.
Oh, yeah, chocolate. 2 chocolate chip waffles, eggs, and bacon.
You're not doing hash browns?
No,
dude.
Potatoes are one of the few things that really upset me with my Chrome.
Waffle House waffle starts with a waffle.
Yeah, but when you live in the South, like I lived in Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
I lived in Charleston, South Carolina too, and it is like you walk in and you go, if you just go, give me smothered, covered, diced, chunk, peppered. Like people know exactly what you're talking about. So that's like covered with cheese, with ham, with onions, with peppers, and then with jalapenos. Like that was my go-to. So everybody has. That's why I thought I was gonna get that out of you guys, and then
no.
I mean, it's pretty fun taking over a Waffle House with rally cars because it's just ridiculous. Like when we did the Waffle House after the rally down at Frank's the next morning, it was just like 15 of us, and it's just all these ridiculous nice cars outside of Waffle House, outside of Georgia, outside of Atlanta, and people were like, "What is going on out here?"
Well, the Wendy's was funny after the Children's Hospital. That lady gave us all the free Frosties.
Yeah,
we missed out. Yeah. I'm going no matter what. If they go to the Shriners, we will this year because Elliot was starting a new job the next day. We had to get home. That was because I had to go to Chicago, and so I missed out. And then I was like, man, I didn't want to miss out, and I didn't want to miss out on Frank's either. So I missed out like on everything. But this year, no matter what,
you're like Andy. Andy has always got to get back to work.
Yeah, the one year when we did the Ricky Bobby setup, I had to be back Monday morning for training at 7 a.m. So I had to miss out on the award ceremony and everything on that Sunday.
So it was just me because the little Asian man, Brett, got lost in another car trying to get to the award ceremony. So it was literally just me and Brad's trying to get everyone to boo. It's like, shut up, Brad. I almost lost the award because of Tom. Tom's never seen Talladega Nights, so he didn't understand anything I did all weekend. So it was literally Tanner who got me the win out of the three of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. Tom never saw the movie.
I almost said something I'm not going to say because I don't want to get kicked off the rally. I was, so
Don't do that.
I mean those bougie bussins.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Talladega Nights, but wow.
But it's funny. I knew when Tom's birthday was, so I was able to get his address. So I sent him a copy of the movie. I just haven't followed up to see if he's actually watched it or not.
Yeah. So. I mean, he might need to prop it underneath his new BMW's tire to keep it from sliding down the driveway.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna put Mini Me under there.
Oh, now you're talking.
But like that weekend, I had Big Red. I was handing out Big Red, and we had the fire suits and whatnot. So I mean, it was the most fun I've had on a rally. I don't think I'll top it.
No, it was dope. I mean, I wasn't even on it, but I just saw you guys like once walking around, and then I saw the cards, and I was like, "That's awesome, dude." That's one of the things that I remember the most from like when you guys were in Indy. That and the resto mod, but that resto mod is kind of a different thing. So
it's a beast up by itself.
Yeah. What is the must-have item in the car? That's something you have to have.
Radar. It's a radar detector. Not that it helped me, but.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's only helped me once, so.
It doesn't help you with an airplane, that's for sure.
Yeah, it didn't help me at all. The other two tickets I got like 10 minutes apart, so.
You just have to drive slow and be like way far away from the pack like me, and then you're fine.
Or not have NASCAR liveries.
Yeah.
I mean, we went fast, but we always had something pop up that kept us from being with the pack. Yeah. So like the first day, after lunch, we stopped at my house because I lived 10 minutes away from where we had lunch. And I was like, I need more towels because we parked outside the first night.
Yep.
And the car was just covered in dew. And I was like, if this is going to be every single day, I need more towels. So we stopped here, we get back, everybody's gone. Second day, we get on the road and the freaking route card is on the front of my windshield. Because we didn't notice they put it on there because it was so dark in that garage.
Yeah.
Under the windshield, yeah.
I thought we were going to get CO2 poison in that garage. It took so long to get out of there.
Oh, yeah. It started to stink really bad.
Imagine being stuck behind Ross and Blair who are not in their car.
That's right. That was you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was an interesting conversation with them. It was hilarious.
What was their answer?
Oh, well, they admit that they overslept.
Yeah.
Like, so, but it was funny because I met them the night before. And so they had the ground effects on like all night.
Yep.
And so I walked downstairs and I saw the ground effects on and I was like, that's not a good sign. And then we go to the driver's meeting. I don't see them. We get in the car and I'm like, I don't think anybody's in there, dude. So
yeah, they showed up way late.
I had to back up and just go around them. Yeah, they were they did not admit whose fault it was, really.
Yeah, they probably won't.
Yeah, no. That's a team effort.
Well, it sounds like the battery was dead from what I think they said once. The battery died because of the ground effects. So they got a busboy to jump them. And then they were on the road and they realized they had no gas.
Jesus. Yeah, that's one important thing. Usually we always stop for fuel before we get to the final destination.
About 20 minutes to a half hour beforehand. So
always, because then you're full up, because the next day you have no idea which way you're really going. And the last thing you want to do is have to get fuel 2 minutes after launch.
And then you lose everybody.
That was our whole thing. I mean, luckily, I'm sure you guys, your fuel's not bad. Like miles per gallon's not bad versus some of the other things on the rally.
Yeah, 18 or 19 or so. It just depends on how hard you're pushing it.
Yeah. But so it was great because even if we were late, people had to pull over to get gas all the time and we just kept going and then they'd catch up and we're right there. So it's like, okay, we didn't really miss anything.
Yeah, I'm one who always kind of gets gas. Every time I see people pull over, I'll pull in and get gas to fill up just so I'm safe, so I don't have to worry about it down the road. Say you get into some backwoods area for 2 hours, and then what?
Yeah, there's nothing.
Like Spicy Tyler. Tyler did it on day 2, and Brad had to go save him.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Adam ran out of gas on Pikes Peak.
Yeah. I mean, I have the rule of like, generally, actually, when I get to half a tank is when I fill up. I don't even go to quarter tank anymore. I'm just like at half tank, we're filling up because you never know if you get on those back roads, like what the next thing's going to be.
Yeah, or you get stuck in traffic somewhere. There's been a couple times where there's like on the way down to south on 18, I think there was a big accident on 65 heading into, where were we going? I don't remember, Nashville or, on the way down there, whatever. And we sat in traffic for like an hour.
Yeah.
That was the accident with 2 of the cars. Maybe.
18? No, that was just a regular.
No, this was a couple years ago.
Got you. Oh, okay. Because this year on South there was,
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we were so slow we didn't get impacted by that. We were
at Waffle House when that happened.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. What is the best song to drive to?
Oh,
Ludicrous Move, of course. Kelly always picks on me. He's like, "Oh, you're so slow." And then we're like driving, and I'll be doing like 100, and I'll pass him. And then we messed with some minivan. We got stuck behind a minivan, and then the dude wanted to race. And we ended up stopping at the gas station, and he pulled up, and then he started chatting to us.
Yeah, I remember that. Just hauling. Well, was that the year we still had Paul with us in the Charger? He drives slow compared to both of us.
No, this was last year when that dude in the black minivan. Remember, we were going to, where were we going? Like down towards Frank's or?
Oh man, I can't remember. I remember what you're talking about, but I can't remember where we were.
Yeah, no, Paul. Yeah, slow Paul. Yeah, he's still slow.
I mean, he's got a Charger. What do you expect?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything. I feel like something Metallica would be perfect. I can listen to about everything. To be honest, on the rallies, there's times I realize I don't even have music on for like 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
There's just so much going on between Zello and I know our group, we carry walkie-talkies. So
yeah.
we got like legitimate walkie-talkies that we can talk to when we don't have cell phone service. So
I have it. We never turned it on. And we didn't have Zello on for 3/4 of the time either.
Zello is just people. Zello's good, and then there's times Zello's just useless. Like the year we had the chicken bake. Brad was like doing Fast and the Furious quotes for like 25 minutes, just for no reason.
Yeah, we turned it off. Mm-hmm. Uncle Frank was on there too. We were ahead of Uncle Frank because we left lunch like right away, and we were getting the cops called. So Uncle Frank was on there for a good hour.
Well, they're trying to find the
changing route. Yeah, he loves this gas station.
Yeah,
that's the big thing. It's like we were trying to listen to music, and I have Apple CarPlay, so I had Zello on the same phone. Yep. No, I had it on a separate phone with Waze, and then I had my GPS and my music through my CarPlay. So we're listening to music, and then we just hear like random crap that has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
And I was just like, turn it off, dude. I want to hear the music.
John used to do trivia for a while there.
Yeah. 10 points.
I just figured we had the radio on, the walkie-talkie on for a while. And I was like, if anything major happens, it's probably going to come through there versus Zello.
Or even on Facebook, to be honest.
Yeah, like something will get repeated. So that was actually an ideal situation of having the Facebook though. Because on tail, with all that stuff happening, people kind of getting lost and everything.
Yeah, the messages.
Getting the route card, because we took off. We just gave up. Yeah. We're like, let's just go to the hotel and have one day where we can rest and like get a little bit of time before dinner. And then, so we're on the highway by ourselves. Like we just took off. And then they put the route card on. So we found Blue Ridge and did that. But if they wanted to put that on Facebook, we wouldn't have.
No, we followed Brad's route for a little bit, and then like I said, they took off, and we just took our time getting back to Charlotte, and then the rain hit, and it was just super slow the whole way.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, that was just one of those days where I was like, dude, it's the last. I'm beat up. Like this has been a crazy day. I'm just like, random crap happening. So let's just get to the hotel.
Like this year on West, took the whole week off afterwards because by the time you get to Vegas, we're gonna hit that like driving experience thing, and I'm taking a week back to come through Grand Canyon and all that stuff because you try to pound back 2-3 days straight, you're just burnt out.
Yeah, it's 24 hours straight back to Minneapolis from Vegas. So going to Milwaukee's got to be closer to 28, I would think.
Yeah, a couple more. Probably similar because you're just shooting across Iowa.
When you're going through Iowa, though.
That's not fun. I mean, dude, I'm not like, I was just tired for like the next 3-4 days after South.
Yeah, I'm taking Andy's playbook this year. I'm taking 2 full weeks off for West. So
yeah,
nice. Yeah, I have classes, so I can't really do that. I just work ahead, and then I sit in front of the computer on the Zoom classes, like I
hate you guys.
What I wanted to do is I wanted to take a still picture of me
and just put it on your camera thing. Yeah,
use it as my wallpaper so I can take off and just do whatever I want to do.
Right.
But okay, so this is perfect. After all the ticket talk, what is the worst ticket you've gotten, and if it was speeding, how fast?
Ooh, are we going on the rally or off the rally?
Wherever,
like just in general.
Technically, I'm still working on mine, so I have none. I'm in the court system.
I got one in Minnesota on the 17. No, I'm gonna say 18. 18, I got popped in Minnesota, right before lacrosse. I got one ticket. We got into lacrosse and started going on our road, and we were with the Mercedes, and I got popped for a second ticket. And then my biggest ticket was this airplane thing. I was coming back from Agave with these guys, and they all took off one way. I went back towards Milwaukee and got popped by the airplane, and that was like a couple $100 and 6 points off my license.
What was the speed?
26 over.
Okay.
I don't know. I had a big red car with numbers on it. I still feel like I was singled out.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I went online and looked at the flight radar just to see, and I found the Wisconsin State Patrol airplane they use, and sure enough, he told me about where he got popped, and sure enough, that's where they were just sitting in that area, circling all day.
Yeah.
So,
what's your worst ticket?
Technically, I don't have one at the moment.
Because his lawyer's looking at it.
Yeah, lawyers are on it. I don't have anything. Literally, this is my first issue.
Have you gotten pulled over and just gotten warnings?
On the rally, no. I've been clean on the rallies.
No, I mean outside. Like
no, I'm good. I mean, I'm not.
He doesn't go fast.
I go fast.
He's like Ricky Bobby after he hits the wall, and what was that? Just drove by me.
Those the other cars?
We got pulled over. We got super troopered on South when Bree was in the car with me and Slowpaw was behind me. There was like a black Audi and something else, an R8, and they were just hauling. This was after the rally, so we were all headed down towards like Gatlinburg to go to the tail. And we got to the city, and Waze was going crazy, and the radar detector was going nuts. And so I called Paul, and I'm like, "We're gonna go through this town like 10 under the posted speed limits. We don't have any problems." 2 cops sitting right there. As soon as we passed them, they pulled Paul over. So I pulled over to make sure I didn't lose them because I always be crying. And the cops like pull up to the Camaro. So he pulls up, and then the cops like pull over farther. And Paul just went into like full freak out mode. And
it's already pulled over.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. So then the cop that came to our car, I gave him my license. He's like, "Oh, my grandma's from Wisconsin, blah, blah." Super nice. Paul's cop wasn't having it. Wanted to know where their cars were. It was hilarious. Our cops letting us take pictures with them and stuff. Paul's cop was just beating him up. It was funny.
Okay, I got one from last summer. It was the week Wolf picked up his GT4. That week. And we met in Hastings, met him and then Chaz and Jessica in the Supra. They had the Supra on West. And so we did the river route down to Winona and came back up the Wisconsin side and cut through Ellsworth to get to Agave for dinner. and 2-lane road. We passed one car going into town a little aggressively, and we pull into Ellsworth, and then it's the right and then a left at the stoplight to go out of town. Literally one stoplight in the city. And as we're coming up to the stoplight, turn left, KA goes nuts, and I'm leading our group. And turn the corner, sure enough, there's a Sheriff Tahoe coming the other way. I'm like, all right, we just turned at a stoplight, not doing nothing bad. And I'm watching him, and I look in my mirror, and I see him go wide, like just wide, and whips a U-turn, and we get right out of town, and lights go right on, and we pull off. And he's like, driver's out. Like, oh boy. I'm like, here we go. And he comes up to us like, I got a call. You guys passed an off-duty officer at a high rate of speed coming into town. And obviously no speed, just a warning. And he's like, it's a nice day. Enjoy your cars. I was out on my motorcycle this morning, cruising the back roads too, just don't do anything. Keep it down and drive safe, so.
Right on. We won't, mine would be a whole episode of, and it's always been, I've only had to pay, I think 2, but I've gotten pulled over a lot, and not for speeding usually, but college town.
Oh yeah.
Stupidity, we'll put it that way.
Right. Going back to the Fig Noon sticker, we went through this town last year on South, because I remember it, because it was 2 lanes each way with the big middle suicide. I don't even know what you call that passing lane in the middle with all the turn lanes. Yeah. And we were in one of those. It was me, Marcus in the CTSV with the Dell wrap, and then an RS7, another guy were with us, and there's a cop sitting there running KA, and we go past him at no speed, not over the speed limit, and he pulls out behind us, and sure enough, the first light we hit red. I'm leading this group with the Fig Noon sticker on the windshield. I'm like, okay, this is going to be the time I get pulled over. And nothing's we're in the right lane. He pulls up into the left lane. My window's down. He rolls his window down, like, cool car, guys, and he's like, if I didn't have to deal with this lady in the back, I'd asked if you guys wanted to pull over and talk about the cars and whatnot. And sure enough, the white light went green, and he took off.
Got lucky.
Oh yeah, very lucky.
That's awesome. So that is another perfect seg. What is the favorite car related movie? Is it Talladega Nights?
I feel like I have to say it, but I grew up on Cannonball Run, Smokey and the Bandit. Like, I loved all those movies. I always said, if I win the lottery, I'm showing up to Crown with the Big Red Semi and backing out a Trans Am out of it at launch.
Yeah.
Nice. Andy would be driving the semi, I would assume.
Yeah, that's fine. Gone in 60 seconds is.
Yeah. Yeah, Gone in 60 Seconds. Billet, the Days of Thunder too. Obviously, the NASCAR side of me, Days of Thunder's another good one that I like. So I was gonna do the Mellow Yellow scheme, but then we did the Talladega Night, so I gave that idea to Paul. So that's why he did it.
Okay. So. It looks good. It's always interesting to hear the movies. Mine is not. It has a car in it, but people give me crap over it's not car related. But I think it is, because it's Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, yeah, the Ferrari.
Yeah, like my old Instagram account, because I had a red Corvette, was Cameron's dad's other car.
Nothing better when they pull out of that parking garage and dude hops in, they launch that thing.
Yeah, but people give me crap over that. They're just like, that's not a car movie, man. And I'm like, it totally kind of is, because like the beginning, the middle,
it's got an iconic car in it.
Yeah,
all car.
Yeah.
So, what is your biggest pet peeve related to other drivers?
Following Andy? No. If you ask anyone in my group, it's following me because of how loud my car is nowadays.
Really loud.
Yeah, it's gonna get louder, unfortunately. Pet peeves, man, I don't know.
I think sometimes the worst part on the rally, so, and I think probably everybody has this thing where, we're bunched up in a group and everybody's like speeding up and slowing down. And then all of a sudden it'll be like one big braking zone and everybody will just jam on the brakes. It drives me nuts because the last thing you want to do is have an accident on the rally.
It doesn't have to be rally though. I'm just talking about in general, like people being in the left lane that shouldn't be there.
Buses in the left lane. Yeah. That happens on the rally a lot
mainly
too.
Priuses in the left lane.
Yeah. But I mean, it's happened before where people pulled out and wouldn't let us by.
Oh yeah.
Somebody threw a cigarette on Kelly's car last year while we were driving.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys? So the funniest thing for us was during launch in Chicago when we had the police escort. This random dude in a white Porsche jumped in.
Wait, is this on South?
Yeah.
So we didn't get in
during
somehow.
that 30-mile police escort. Some dude just randomly like jumped in.
That was that was one of the guys that had been on the rally before.
Yeah. No. This was some old random dude in like a base Cayman.
We also got separated in that group.
Yeah. So we were in like the last 20 cars to get let out of the parking lot. And somehow the cops just took off the whole group and we got lost. So we ended up getting on like 92, 94 or something. I don't even remember. And we just hauled it right to
we were like fourth to lunch day one.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was the group that Joe and Brianna and like Alex.
No, they went on the escort. We got separated somehow and we just had to haul down the interstate by ourselves.
We went through the toll road through like Indiana past Gary, and then my iPass wouldn't work. So I had to like spend 5 minutes at every freaking toll thing trying to get it to work. And it was just a disaster. Absolute disaster.
Well, apparently there was two groups. It might be different days, but that was one of the things that was kind of funny was dude and it was Charlotte the last day. When we left, some guy in like I won't say what he was in, but some guy goes down the exit ramp to get on, right? And just stops and turns around on the exit ramp coming back like somebody in Crown because they said that there was standing water at the bottom of the exit ramp to get onto the highway.
Yeah, when it was pouring.
Yeah, so like all of us were like, so are we not going to go that way? Like, what are we doing? So we just, it was crazy. So we had to catch up to get into the police escort.
Yeah, like as much as I love the police escorts, sometimes they can get a little out of hand. Yeah, and just trying to keep everyone together. Like we lost the police escort day one, but then we were like mid-pack leaving Charlotte, and obviously Andy got stuck behind further back, and I was just going up, and I ended up being like the fourth car in line on the police escort to the drag strip somehow. I was like, I don't even know how I ended up so far ahead.
It was just wild, dude. It was so like, and I mean, we were going a reasonable speed because it was so bad. A lot of people on that highway were going like 35, 40.
Yeah, it was bad.
We were probably going like 65 because I felt comfortable in it. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't going to go 100, but so we're going like a little bit faster than most people. And out of nowhere, like 3 Crown cars come flying by at like 120, 130. And I'm like, that's probably not good.
Yeah, no. I bought new tires just before the rally. I bought extreme contacts, and those things are phenomenal in the rain. I didn't have any issues in that downpour at all.
Yeah, that's what I had too. Yeah.
Right on. I'll have to get into it. The biggest thing was the car when I bought it. I bought it like 2 months before the rally, basically. And the dealership had just put on brand new Pilot Sports.
Oh, yeah.
So, but they weren't the 4S's. So they're just like the normal Pilot Sports. So they weren't great in the rain, but I'm like, I'm not going to buy brand new tires when they can literally replace them.
Right.
Like
no tire is going to be good in the rain on anything over 400 horsepower.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when they're that wide. Like I had 315s, pretty much all the way around, and it's a wide tire to be chomping through an inch of rain like everybody was.
Yeah.
So, all right. Here, I got two. They're kind of all weird questions, but there's two specifically that are kind of strange. So this is one of them. Would you buy an electric or hybrid car? And if so, which one?
Only the Porsche Taycan and only for a daily.
Yep. I'm 100. If I had the money, yeah, but with what I do for work, if I had a Tesla just to do what I do, that mileage I get is just a free roll then, so I wouldn't mind one. Will I? No, but it would be the Taycan, like Andy said.
You wouldn't get the Roadster?
No.
What's a Taycan 0 to 60?
Faster than anything I have now. I just want it for a daily because it's super practical. Not saying a Tesla's not super practical. I like the way the Porsche looks better.
Yeah.
Well, the Porsche's
And the
probably
fit and finish on a Porsche is out of control.
The Porsche probably has better quality control in the sense of I've heard some goofy things about the Teslas that are coming out.
Yeah.
But all right. What is the ugliest car in history?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Well, you're going to narrow it down to like sports car or?
No, any car, any time period, any car.
And that was the Aztec would be up there.
Yeah, that's a good.
If they did Clunker Cruise yet, I always wanted to buy one of those for Clunker Cruise just to beat the hell out of it for a couple days.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing about the Aztec, right? So that's my answer. But the other day, how Facebook had your memories.
Yeah.
It popped up from years ago, and I was watching Breaking Bad at the time, and I was like, if anything Breaking Bad has taught me is that the Pontiac Aztec can take a beating because, I know it's TV, so it's not real, but that thing, that's my answer, though. Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting because Frank gave some interesting answers.
Yeah.
And Frank's into some weird cars. Like if I had to pick a high-end car that I think is friggin' ugly, Lambos back in the day, like Countach, just some of those are just like, what were you doing?
Yeah. I mean, Pontiac Aztec, I think, is our generation's.
Yeah. Scion XP.
Or Mustang 2 or whatever. Awful.
Yeah, 72 Mustangs or 72, 73 Mustangs. Horrible looking.
I mean, the Gen 4, Gen 3 Camaros weren't that great either, though.
Yeah, some of them look better than the fourth gens. It depends what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is the personal preference, but is doing burnout / smoking the tires cool or not cool?
We both owned V8 muscle cars, so of course we're gonna like them.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I don't know. I pay a lot for tires, so
that is
it's hard to just waste them.
Fair. Well, I was the only one at the airship who did a burnout.
That is true. You did it right next to me while we were lining up. There's some good video, but
the slow-mo of me burning the tire, doing the burnout box at the airship. I was the only one who did it, and that's why I was probably in the film for that 5 seconds of the slow-mo.
It is easier to do on an auto car than it is manual cars.
Well, that's so Andy's answer is not. I just have never been into them, but it's because I don't want to go through tires.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. That's all it is. Like, what I've said to everybody is if you have a Mustang and you can put $80 Walmart specials on it, like go burn them out. Like go do what you want. You know what I mean? But on the CPSV, there are very limited tires I can get on that car. So I'm not going to spend the $1,600 to burn out for 2 months and then be like, all right, I got to go spend another $1,600.
Right. And especially for like, I don't know, I consider myself a normal rallyer. It's like, tires every year plus the whole rally trip plus all the extra stuff, it adds up and it's like the whole car budget for the whole year.
Yeah. I mean, the lucky thing for me is I barely drive my car. So the tires only got 2,500 built, and then they're going to get like 400 or 500 before this rally, and then they'll be fine for the rally still.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, I was trying to get through. I was trying to get through my Firehawks that I had in the car to South, but they were I just didn't want to risk it, so that's why I put the extreme context on before South. So
yeah. Well, it's interesting because like I almost gave him crap, but I just realized he's not doing South, so it doesn't matter. But JTP, got on his birthday, John Taylor Page got a hole in his tire.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. But then he went and got cup twos. And I'm like,
well, I mean, he does live where it's what 90 every day or 80 every day, but still cup twos are a track tire.
No, but then a couple minutes later, I realized, oh yeah, he's in California. It's not like he's in the Midwest where it gets cold and they're not going to be good tires at all.
Right. I don't know how much it rains where he is either.
Right.
Not much. I mean, he's in Orange County, so it's like, and he doesn't have to drive for work either. He works out of his house. And plus, they're on lockdown for the next like 20 years anyways with this pandemic. So
all they have now is lockdown and electric vehicles. Good luck.
Yeah, supposedly 2025, all electric vehicles for the entire state of California.
Okay.
That's just for like new sales, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was the first one he met on Crown on West because me, DJ, and Heidi all flew into Vegas for our rental cars. And he met us out at In-N-Out that afternoon after we landed and got everything. And he convoyed up to Denver with us in Moab for the night. So
he's a character, man.
yeah, he's something, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's fun.
I love him though. He's hilarious. Like, because Elia obviously is into the YouTube video stuff, so they connected really well because obviously John's into it too. So when we were hanging out, but I had to leave in Nashville because they were getting a little too saucy. And I was like, I got to go to bed. I'm driving.
Nashville this last year was the most saucy I've gotten on a rally.
I think it appeared that was the most saucy everybody got on the rally that night.
Yeah.
Oh, on that rally, yeah. There's been some Indianapolis Revel Room party until they kick you out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Indy, there's nothing else to do in Indy, so of course you're going to party. I mean, it's Indy, so.
Stories about Indy that we can't tell on here, so about us or someone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's still is legal to actually have an open container and walk around in Indy because we hosted the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So they switched the law for the Super Bowl. They just never put it back. But downtown was insane. Like when the Super Bowl was here, because it was actually warm. And so every night people were walking around with backpacks with just cases of beer in the back. It's like walking around downtown, like, all right, dude, it's wild. Like that area is super cool in the sense that everything's so close to everything, you know. I mean, obviously with Crown, you guys were in a hotel, had the bar specifically, but St. Elmo's isn't far, I don't think. So
it wasn't very far from where we stayed that night.
But cool. You guys have any social media or YouTube or anything you want to plug?
Instagram's all. I think we're pretty much all on Instagram.
Yeah, just Insta.
Okay. Yeah, 262 Motorsports. I'm working on some videos on the Porsche swap, so we'll see what happens. But I got rally videos and stuff. Hopefully, I can get put on a computer and get going on.
Okay.
Yeah, just first name, last name for me. If you want to see photos of pizza and Red Bull.
Yeah, or Camaros blowing up, or fireballs all over Camaros, or.
All right. I'll put links below for your ideas. So cool. Well, I appreciate you guys doing it.
Yeah.
It's fun. I mean, they've been interesting. Like, it's been super interesting to do these because I never know what answers I'm going to get out of people.
Oh, I'm sure.